Welcome to Take Two, the podcast with the Rock 95 Morning Crew. Good morning. It's Craig, Brian, MJ. Last week we had a question for back to school that was proposed to us. And it was a memory in school, right, that lasts forever.
Yeah, one that just sticks out in your brain. And it could be from any time, elementary, college, or high school, whatever. At all.
It's kind of funny when you get talking about it because it's not just one memory, because we wanted to continue this conversation because when we told stories, all of a sudden we had in our mind 4 or 5 more memories that popped up of specific things, events that happened. Like my memory last week, if you remember, if you're a regular listener to the podcast, was puking in school. And you said that sparked a memory for you.
Yeah, Brian. I puked. I was in grade 8, and it was our retreat that we were on.
Retreat.
So, yeah. And, you go on like a little trip in grade 8?
Yeah.
Anyway, Catholic school. We did every year. And, so it was a big deal, and I puked in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night? Oh, no.
In a classroom where everybody was sleeping,
That doesn't help your popularity, does it?
No. Well, no one woke up. It was bizarre.
Well, that's good.
I went to get my teacher, who was up.
All right.
Weird. And then he came in and was like, I don't know what you want me to do. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like,
all right.
Neither one of us.
I puked.
Nobody cleaned it. You know what I mean? We just had all the lights on. And I remember looking at every kid that was just sleeping. I'm like, they got no idea what's going on right now. But I didn't have that nickname or anything. To puke.
No, well, that's
No,
good.
you know what? And it was Fish that gave it to me. That's what made me puke. Made me feel terrible.
Oh, Fish. For some reason, when he said Fish, I thought that was a nickname of a kid. Good old Fish Jones.
Yeah. It was a fun school, yeah.
Did you guys ever have a class where the teacher was doing something, teaching a lesson of some sorts, where he didn't want anybody outside the class to watch, so he put up newspaper?
Oh, sure, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in high school, I do remember... they brought in, for the artsy people, they brought in nude models to draw.
Oh, hello.
What?
Yes, this was in high school. I went to a school that was a school for the arts for the first year of my high school career. And they brought in a girl and a guy to pose nude.
How nude? I mean, that's
I didn't see there was newspaper, but man, there was about 40 of us looking through the window to try to find it. Yeah. So, but I didn't see anything. But it brought back to when I was in high school. We read a little play. And there's been some movies based on the play. And one of the movies that came out was called Airplane from 1980, which is the spoof movie.
Of course.
You know the movie, right? It's one of the funniest movies of all time. We ended up talking our teacher into watching this movie. And he let us. So he put up newspaper on the windows, right? It was the first time I remember in a class that everybody showed up for class.
Right.
Like everybody wanted to see this movie because we were howling at this movie. Now, the movie is raunchy. It had boobs in it. There's a scene where somebody's walking through topless and shaking her tatas.
And they're showing you that?
And they're showing us this. The teacher, you can tell he was kind of
Pretty
like...
cool guy.
Well, you could tell he was going to get in trouble if he was found out that he was showing us this movie.
Whoa, he's risking it all.
He's risking it all.
Did he know the movie had
He
showed?
was very aware, but we begged him to watch this. He showed us this movie, and he was a good teacher to me. He kind of liked me, almost like he was trying to
impress me
a little bit. So he showed the movie. There's this one scene in the movie where one of the pilots, there's an automatic pilot, and his name's Otto, and he's like a big balloon guy. And there's a scene in the movie where the female pilot at the time is, in a joking way, giving a sexual favor to the big balloon guy, right?
Okay.
At that point, he stands up and stands in front of the TV.
Okay.
So that we can't see it. And he goes, "Now, kids, I just want to give you a lesson on everybody's get out of the way!"
Nice.
Anyway, it was a vivid memory, and every time I see Airplane on TV right now and I see that scene, I'm like, I just can't see. I see Mr. Link standing in front of me.
That's awesome. Did you guys ever have any nudity in your school? Any streakers?
Oh,
No?
We've had a few mooners.
I wish.
Mooners? They
Yeah.
just showed their butt?
Yeah, which is
I know
cool.
we had streakers, but it wasn't full on nudity.
Yeah.
They had underwear
Yeah, they
on.
chicken out.
Yeah, and they had masks on, and they ran through, and they didn't tell anybody. and which was great. That's the move. And they ran by, and we went, "Oh my God, that's Chris!" Like you knew right away. You knew right away. And they ran off, and they got busted. And the one guy couldn't go to prom from that.
Wow.
Not worth it.
See, my graduating class was a bunch of idiots. had this in my high school. It's really cool. We had this system called the house system, and the school was essentially broken down into 3 parts. So instead of having like one principal that oversaw everything, we had house masters, I guess you could say, right? So you had your 3 house masters where all the students would attend to. And one time they were thinking about getting rid of the house system. And really not a big deal. I mean, kind of something unique to our school, but not a big deal.
Right.
Some kids decided, well, this is an excuse to stage a walkout. And I'm sorry, what? I'm like, guys, we're not even going to be here next year. I don't get what the
don't
problem
threaten
is.
that.
So there was a walkout that was the most worst kept secret because every teacher knew about it.
You a part of it?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, it was a
Shy
chance to
little
get out of
MJ?
class. Shy little MJ.
Yeah.
I came out of my shell in high school. And
She just threw that away. That's funny.
So we're in class, we're in biology class, and the teacher comes in. She's like, all right, I'm just going to quickly write down your homework because I know you guys have somewhere to be. And we're like, I guess it's not much of a secret. So we all walk out, and the news is there, which at the time is huge. A Channel Edmonton was there, and some moron, David Black, I remember, he's like, yeah, we're walking out. I don't even know why. I'm like, dude.
There's MJ out of her shell right behind him. That's right. Where are we going?
I got out of biology for this.
That would be totally me. I don't know why, but I'm here.
That's exactly it. Every kid walked out. Most of us didn't care, but someone was just like, this is a reason to walk out and exercise our right to protest.
Whenever the students are getting together and there's so many of you, you're enthralled.
It's mob mentality.
Exactly.
For sure.
And I mean, every high school had fights. And that was such a big deal. Everybody went. You didn't know who was fighting. A lot of the time, we would all go there, and there wouldn't even be a fight. You know what I mean? It wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes it
And I'm
did.
sorry, you went to a Catholic school?
Catholic school. Oh yeah, and we had a public school down the street.
Nice.
Yeah. Our school was bad. Right now, it's got metal detectors. It didn't have metal detectors. That's how bad it got. Apparently, I'm told. Yeah, it's pretty seedy right now. We had stabbings. Somebody got their hair lit on fire.
Oh, those are very intense.
So we got fights, metal detectors, and walkouts.
Yeah, and
High school was
walkouts.
great.
Yeah, the hair lit on fire was a guy who was it was shop class. I remember, and he had a lot of grease. It was the 80s, right? He had a lot of grease in his hair, and just it wasn't done on purpose. But the guy behind him was playing with a lighter, and sure enough, whoosh!
Right.
And he had.
It sounds like you know the guy that did it because you went, listen, it wasn't on purpose. He's playing with a lighter right by his hair. But
Give Fish a break. He liked to do this kind of stuff.
He was fine. Everything was okay. It's hard to laugh at him. I'm sure he was traumatized by the whole event. But by for the next 4 weeks, all he had was burnt ends in his hair.
yeah.
So you could see it. But the biggest fight that I remember,
smell it, too.
You could smell it. The biggest fight that I remember was between 2 girls. Girls are bad when it comes to fights.
They were rare.
They were
more
rare, and because they were rare, they were more of an attraction.
And boy, were they memorable.
Lord.
Wow.
And they fought all the way off school property and all the way down the street, and there was hundreds of us gathered around to see this fight, and they were just thumping each other. Right?
It's tough to watch. It can be
hard.
intense.
Oh, we all enjoyed it. I mean, it was 200 of us, right? Like you say, it was tough to watch, but we did it. And I remember the principal coming up to me, like chasing me down, and then grabbing me specifically and telling me to get my posse out of there.
Your posse.
Like I instructed
Right.
199 others to come watch this fight. I'm like, I don't know anybody here. I don't know the 2 women fighting. Why are you after me?
I'm just here for the show.
My mother always thought it was because I had a jean jacket with Pink Floyd on it that had a teacher going through the meat grinder.
That's devil music.
So,
Come on.
and I was always kind of looked at by the teachers as being a thug for having that. I'm like, come
We
on.
need the
I'm-
rest of the
Oh,
story
come
here,
on.
Craig. Why would he have grabbed you? I don't buy that. You're a bit of a troublemaker.
No, I wasn't a troublemaker. I never got in a fight.
No.
I was proposed to
No,
get
you
into a
just
fight. I had a
planned
lot of people
No.
threaten me
Well, hold on.
in years.
You were proposed to get
I
in a
was
fight?
proposed to get in a fight. We're going to kill you after school or whatever. I'm fine. Let's fight.
Oh my
Okay,
God, hold on, hold
I
on.
got a
Dude,
story.
Dude, that's how intense that gets. If they go, hey, by the way, I'm going to kill you after school.
Yeah, and I'd be like, all right, I'll be there. There was one guy who hated my guts, and I remember his name was George, and I did something to him, and he got so mad. He goes, I want to fight. I don't want to fight you on school property, that we're going to fight tonight at 7. I'm like, this is like a story from like the movies, right? The Outsiders. Anyway, I said, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. Let's go. Let's
do
go.
it.
I never had any intention of showing up. The guy would kill me. He had a ton of friends. I had no friends.
Yeah.
So
70,
anyway, at 7 o'clock, I decided for giggles, I would drive by just to see, because I didn't think he'd show up either way. There was a massive amount of people. There was like 100 people. I just sped right through them. Like,
Chris Listen to Craig, Brian, and MJ, the Rock 95 Morning Crew on Barrie's Rock Station, Rock 95.